That's it. I'm done. This is me saying, that's it. I'm not going to buy anything now until my challenge is over. And we're talking about the Read What You Own challenge. The Read What You Own challenge. So, I'm giving myself a period of time, not a number of pages or a number of books, but a period of time where I'm not going to buy any books. And I have some to show you that are the up-to-date recent things I've bought to kind of illustrate how joyful and lovely it is to buy books. So I've had some really interesting finds recently, so I want to talk about those. But this is the last thing I'm going to be buying until Christmas. So that's not that far away. And if you're thinking, yeah, I could do that, what's the matter with him? I am someone who goes to the charity shops every week. Oh, this challenge is making me ill already. I go to the charity shops every week. I often buy from eBay at least twice a month. And that's besides the fact that if I break up for Christmas, I'm bound to want to spend those few days book shopping. So I'm clearly not going to do that. And I'm going to give that as my aim to not buy any books from now, November the 5th, to Christmas. All right, so after Christmas, I might get tokens or something, I don't know, and I might be able to buy something, who knows. I mean, my Christmas list actually is mostly not books, so I might not even get many books this year. That'd be interesting. But let's talk about some of the things I have got, and hopefully you'll see in the in the way that I talk about what I've got, and maybe you can relate to what I've got as examples of what a lovely and joyful what a lovely joyful thing it is to buy books, and that it's kind of separate from reading, but obviously I intend to read them. So you are buying them with the intention of reading them, but buying in itself is a pleasure. So what have I found? So I'm going to start with two that I found in charity shops recently. So like 2 days ago, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I've never read this. It's clearly an extremely harrowing book. I know just from knowing what it's about, but I haven't read it. So I probably need to be in the right mindset, but I do want to own it so I can read it when I'm ready. And who knows? I might read it. This could be one I read during the challenge. I don't know. But I've got The Boy in the Striped Pajamas now. Tell me if you've read it. Tell me what you think of it. This was 50 pence because it was 2 for a pound. So this charity shop, 2 for a pound, 50 pence. I couldn't say no. It's a lovely condition. Literally, well, it's not like new because that, but it's extremely good condition. You know, so that was all good. And then this is new condition. This is crazy condition. And I found another book by Mishima. So I think I might have 2 others. One I've definitely read, The Sailor Who something to the sea. But Confessions of a Mask I didn't know about. So this was also found in this charity shop, literally new condition, and it was 50p. So this was a really nice find. See, it's very exciting when you find these things, these bargains that are in such good condition. So, Mishima, have you read that? What do you think of Mishima? He's a very strange and interesting man. So what do you think of Mishima? Confessions of a Mask. So, I have had a lovely day in Brighton. I went to visit my son in Brighton, and this was my last day. I knew it was going to be my last day of book purchases before the challenge started. I knew it because literally I'm right up against the 5th, and I knew that I wouldn't get another chance. So Brighton is a great source for books, and straight away I found 2 really interesting books in Snooper's Paradise, which I really wanted to snap up. I found a few others actually, and I was a little bit more reserved, which was quite good. So a John Christopher book called A Scent of White Poppies. And there was another John Christopher book there which looked like it had the same plot as The Death of Grass, which is a bit mad. And I think he is an author that's done a world is falling apart apocalyptic story a few times. But this seems a slightly different. And it's got this awesome vintage cover. It's a very dramatic cover and great condition, well looked after in this plastic covering. And yeah, I couldn't resist this one. So Scent of White Poppies by John Christopher. And then shout out to Ollie, one of the chief instigators, the guy who started talking about reading what you owned. He has always championed this man. So it's quite nice that I'm starting this year's challenge with this man. So this is Evan Hunter, or Ed McBain, and the Blackboard Jungle. And it's a really nice copy, I think. And it was only a £5. And it's an old vintage copy. So I thought I'd get this because I also thought, I mean, he loves this book and he loves Evan Hunter. But also I might relate to it as a teacher as well. So The Blackboard Jungle by Evan Hunter. It was a really nice find. So that was in Snooper's Paradise. And then I found 4 books in the Oxfam down there. And I started off with 2 Joe Lansdale books. So I've always wanted to read a Joe Lansdale book, but I hadn't had any yet. And these were really cheap. These only a couple of quid. And there was The Two Bear Mambo. The Two Bear Mambo. Let me know if you've read these. So I think they're kind of action-packed, kind of streetwise, kind of cocky crime thrillers, I think. The Two Bear Mambo and Rumble Tumble. So similar imprint. So I am looking forward to reading these. But tell me if you've read these. Joe Lansdale, The Two Bear Mambo and Rumble Tumble. So I've got a little crime collection building up. And I've got a feeling I'm going to like the way he writes. We'll find out. And then I bought something that, again, see, the great thing about book hunting, the exciting thing is when you see something that you've never seen before and you're like, oh, that's an interesting thing. And this is a book about the evolution of the harmonica as it's the playing of the harmonica. So it's called Harmonicas, Harps and Heavy Breathers, the Evolution of the People's Instrument. And it's got tons of people there profiled. So loads of classic people. So the ones that I know that I would like to read about, you've got Larry Adler, Sonny Terry, James Cotton, Paul Butterfield, Toots Thielemans, Little Walter, and Stevie Wonder. So I know those guys. There's a few more as well, and there's tons of people listed in there. Jimmy Reed's listed in there as well, Charlie Musselwhite. So I do know a lot of these people, but it'd be really interesting to read more about them and to find out about some others I don't know about. So I think the harmonica is a really underrated instrument. And I've dabbled with the harmonica. And if you saw my New Orleans video, you might have seen that I spent a lot of money on a special chromatic harmonica that I was very excited about. But I've been a bit intimidated to play it, which is silly. Plus, my dogs wouldn't be a massive fan if I started playing a harmonica in the front room. So I've got to find somewhere else to practice. But I do love the harmonica. So this was a really interesting find. So, again, see, it's exciting when you find a book that you didn't know about. So that was really cool. And then, the other thing I bought, this is a big shout out to Alex, from Alex Unabridged. I would have passed this book or not known what it was, had he not recently talked about this. This is a book that means a lot to Alex. And I really like Alex. I think he's a lovely guy. And I wanted to find out more about this book. From the way he spoke about it, he said this was an absolute life-changing book for him. It really affected him in a really deep, significant, profound way. So I wanted to find out what was in the contents of this book, and it's The Minotaur Takes a Cigarette Break by Stephen Sherrill. So it's a kind of a fantasy kind of thing, I think, with the Minotaur being put into modern day. But I think it's a metaphor for being an outsider and accepting your own difference, I think. But again, I'm going to find out once I read it, and hopefully I can echo Alex's sentiments. I think he was coming from a very specific place, and even though I often feel like an outsider, it's a very different kind of displacement that I've got. It's not it's not the same kind of thing, so I wouldn't want to diminish his experiences, but things like this can speak to a variety of different people and their own issues of socialization and connection. So yeah, we'll see. The Minotaur takes a cigarette break. Big shout out to Alex. Check out his channel. I'll link it below. He's awesome. So I've got that as well. And the last thing I wanted to mention that I got in Brighton was I got some more of Saga. So I got basically 5, 6 and 7. So 5 is that one. So I've got issue number 5. And then I've got issue number 6. And I'm going to do a video on these. Now I've got a substantial amount of them. I'm going to talk about what I think about them. And these were nice finds today in Brighton. So there we are. That's my last book haul until Christmas. So I've got to stay committed to this and not waver and start buying little £2 books. Me go, oh, I'll just do that. Not about that. This is about reading what you own, reading what you might have ignored just to keep buying. You know, in the last 2 days I've had really interesting experience with reading. So I've read something fantastic that I really wanted to, I'll be doing a video about it soon, a graphic novel I'll be talking about on the channel soon. Really, really loved it. And then I've also read a classic book that I've not really enjoyed very much, and I've got 30 pages left, and it's starting to connect, but it didn't really, as a whole, it didn't really connect. So, you know, it's good to read the stuff you buy so you can find out what you think of them. You know, it's not about just collecting all the time. You buy them because you want to read them. So yeah, there we are. Big shout out to the people that are kind of leading the charge with this. So Criminally, Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads, MJ at Reading This Life, and Crystal at Fibre Artsy. Those are the 4 that have really spearheaded this. And for me, as I said, it's going to be a time frame rather than a number of books, because to me that's still going to be halting my buying for a bit, and then we'll see how we get on. So thanks for watching this. Please comment below on those books and the challenge, and if you think I'm being a wuss for only doing 2 months. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay curious, everybody.
Paint me a picture